Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my gun out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard got network being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front set, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it? Game time.
Okay, welcome to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. We are coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness in the Adelaide CBD. I'm your host, B. Caruana, joined as always by my man, Steve Burrows.
Hello.
Before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys in Region Arcade, get yourself an awesome coffee and listen to some pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on with the show. Now, Steve, we've got a lot of things to get to.
Yep.
You've come in, you're excited.
Yeah.
Now, we are having a celebratory drink because, we haven't had a drink for a while, so we did cheers on the mic there. There we go. That was a lovely sound.
That was a good one.
Probably hurt someone's ears. Sorry about that, guys, if you're listening with headphones in. But it was my birthday the other day, so by the time this comes out, it will be a week after my birthday, so we're having a celebratory drink. But there's one thing that needs to be celebrated, and that is, Steve,
Yo.
lawn chat.
Here it is, turd freaks. The moment you've been waiting for. It's time for Steve's lawn chat.
So, Steve, give us an update, mate, because it's your lawn chat.
Yeah,
so,
yes,
we need to know.
Quite specifically my lawn
And
chat.
I'm just going to throw in a note.
Yes.
You did promise last week to show some photos.
I'm sorry, yeah.
And we've had no photos.
No.
So-
I will take a photo this weekend of what I think is the piss patch.
Yep.
I think that's what it is. But that's the least of my problems at the moment.
Okay.
It is now getting into the more mild temperatures. It's going to be a bit cooler from now on.
Yep.
So basically that means my lawn will no longer grow.
Yeah.
It's going to I'll probably mow it twice over the next 3 or 4 months.
Because you're worried about getting electrocuted. Can't have the electric mower out in the rain.
No, I hadn't thought about that. That's very clever. Well done, asshole.
I had my moments.
Yes, yeah. No, what happens though is when this lawn stops growing, then the weeds start coming through. Okay, and
The
that's
undesirables.
the undesirables, and they've already began.
Yep.
There's 2 problems. Actually, I feel like I complain a lot about lawn at the moment, the last few weeks, but I've got 2 problems now. One is autumn is the time for millipedes.
Yes.
Lots and lots of millipedes, and we've got a light-coloured house. Like the render on the front is light, and when it rains, they clear out of the lawn and they climb up on our walls.
All right.
And it looks like we've had shit sprayed
On your house.
on our house. So that's problem number 1.
So this is like transitioning from lawn chat into just a whole house and garden. So
I haven't got that's right. Yeah,
we are just going into better homes and gardens.
then over the garden. Should we get Don Birkin maybe one time?
I think
Is he out of the woods yet or not?
No, he's a little out of favour.
Yeah.
We might get him on the cheap though at the moment. But continue, Steve.
And the other thing is, and this has been a bane of my existence for a long, long time, it's a clover.
The clover.
The old clover, the green clover. I don't know how many brands there are,
Not
but
the lucky Irish 4-leaf
No,
clover.
there's
just the
nothing lucky
dirty,
about it.
ruining my fucking garden clover.
and it comes through hard.
Yeah.
And when followed by the clover, and I'll let you know when it happens, but I'm expecting sour sobs. And just the whole shebang, man. In the summer it's awesome to have good lawn. In the winter, the Santa Ana,
Yeah.
it doesn't play nice.
So basically you just got a summer-only lawn.
A summer only lawn, that's
It's
right.
sort of like me. It gets seasonal depression. It's just no good in the wet, no good in the cold conditions.
Yeah.
Get some sun on it and it's ready to shine.
That's it. And so basically, and because it's only been down for three months, I've still got the lines.
Yeah.
And so they're going to exist the whole winter. They're going to have lines in my
Oh.
lawn. And then I show a photo of to Speed today of my little boy sitting on the lawn. And as I told you a little while, I'm all pretty low.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What's that? What's that patch?"
Mate, there was a lot of yellow. I saw a little bit of green, but I was seeing a lot of yellow.
It's not yellow as in it's dead or anything. It's just yellow because it's low. It's young. Next summer there'll be no yellow,
No yellow?
ever.
And no lines?
And no lawn. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm waiting for once the lawn really kind of gels. By next spring, going into summer, it's gonna be beautiful.
We need some feedback. Help him get through the winter months. Apparently, it's going to be tough sledding because winter is coming. So we need you guys to give some feedback. Darren, I know Darren's a big fan of the Santa Ana.
Yeah.
He can get us some feedback on that because we definitely need to get this lawn up and schmicked so we can have a big pool party at Steve's house and just completely fuck the lawn. But Steve, you've also got something else that you've brought to my attention. You've stumbled on a new show that you've been binge watching. Now, I've heard of it. I've seen the trailers, but I haven't actually watched the show. Tell me, Steve, about Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. This is like for people like our age, who grew up in the 80s and stuff.
So young people.
Yeah.
Millennials, we're young.
Well, these we get to there's a lot of this nostalgia stuff, and it comes back whether it be through the Nintendo machines, remakes of movies, good or bad. This one here, though, I can tell you guys, it's a good one. It's a really good one. So basically, quick synopsis is the opening scene is the last scene of the original movie. The fight scene on the mats.
Yep, put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly, in the All Valley tournament. And it shows sort of like the point by point, and then it shows the crane kick finale. Johnny goes down, and that's when it starts.
Yeah.
And it starts with him being a bit, obviously he's not lived up to his potential.
Yes.
So he's sort of like, he's a drinker, I think he's a general handyman who just... does enough to get by.
He's got that level of scumbag that I usually like in an athlete.
He's definitely got scumbag. He definitely wears some flannies.
Yep, good. Good fashion choice.
Good fashion choice. And he, he's got the faded jeans. He's got the bad
stubble
beard. So it's gone beyond stubble. It's a half kind of grown out, but because he's blonde, it's a bit thin. Anyway, LaRusso though, he's made himself. He's done well. He's a second-hand car dealer.
There you go.
And basically the story, I won't go into too much, but the story is about their conflicts continuing many, many years later.
Oh, okay.
Not on a physical level so much, but Johnny wants to bring back Cobra Kai. LaRusso, obviously, Danny has a big problem with that, so he's trying to prevent it from happening. And they've both got kids.
Is it good, though?
I was mentioning another mate of mine, Rasley, and he's saying, but is it just nostalgia? And I think it's a little bit of nostalgia, but I actually think it's a good standalone show anyway.
They've written it well.
They've done really well, yeah. Johnny's funny. It's good to see the other side of it.
Yeah.
You always saw it from LaRusso's side, but it's good to see Johnny's side of it as well.
Because there's a market, isn't it? If this show takes off, there's going to be a market for that, where it's that whole... Well, let's see it from the other side, from the other perspective. Right. So it's because there's a lot of classic things. They sort of, we've gone through the prequels, the sequels, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But there's a real strong nostalgia pop going at the moment, and it's sort of. I thought it started with Stranger Things, but then I had a thought about it.
Oh, that was
and it felt like more that it was. It's sort of that Family Guy thing. Remember when Family Guy first started? It was always that remember this from this and this, and they would always just do some sort of nostalgia pop, like something that you would just go, yeah. It was always just like a cutaway. And now, like a lot of Stranger Things made a market on being like an 80s sort of nostalgia movie.
Yeah.
And then moving through to a friend of mine went and saw that Ready Player One movie, the new Spielberg one, and he goes, it was just like old spot, just got throwing back all these references to all these old films. It was like, that's like sort of the new thing now. That's what's in at the moment is sort of referencing. And the thing is now, like, we're now at that age where, like, stuff in the 90s that we grew up with, that's the nostalgia. It's
that's right.
That does sort of make you feel a little bit older.
I know, it's funny because I always think back on 2007, that wasn't that long ago. No, it was a long time. It was 11 years ago, man. Like in the old days, it used to be in the 90s. You forget, how quickly time passes. Speaking of which, time passed so quickly last night, I binge watched 8.5 episodes.
How long are these episodes?
A half hour a crack.
So like a full half hour? Because I always
28 minutes, 29 minutes,
That's good because normally you go for a TV show.
Yeah.
If it's a half hour TV show, you watch the DVDs, they're 22 minutes.
That's right,
ads, but it's a full 28 minutes.
28 and a couple went in 32.
Yeah.
It's solid viewing. How
did you get away with that with the wife?
It was funny.
That sounds like a lot of Steve time.
It is. Did you
go, come home, oh no, I've got the runs, don't come near me. Like, I don't want to get the rest of the house sick.
No, unfortunately though, the house is sick. They've all got the flu and stuff, so the kids went to bed pretty early. So I was able to sneak away. It was just because it's on YouTube.
All right.
And you can watch the first 2 episodes for free, by the way, if you're interested. So I just had it on my PC. I still didn't not do my fatherly chores, my husband's chores. But once the kids was in bed, I got to sit down and watch it. She kind of watched the Housewives reunion show or something like that.
Oh, Jonah, please.
Followed by the Vanderpump Rules one.
Oh, Jonah, please.
And the only reason I didn't finish the 9th and 10th episode, which is the whole season, is because I got to get up for gym in the morning really early. Yeah. So I had to have some sleep, which leads me on to my next thing. By the way, get onto Cobra Kai. It's really good. I think you did really enjoy it. So there's a lot of flashbacks.
So you're giving it the C+ out of 10, or is it up to a B+?
No, I'm thinking B+, A-.
Out of 10. There you go. Out of 10. That's an A-. Yeah. That's pretty high on the Steve ranking. Don't ask how it makes sense, but it does.
Anyway, but what it does bring me on to another thing is So this morning, usually Fridays my deadlift days.
Yeah.
But because the household is sick, my little girl threw up at 3 a.m. this morning. So we were up changing sheets, and she's so sweet about it as well. Like, she's the most unbelievable kid. But I picked her up and I brought her to the toilet. And she sort of finished off and whatever, and we cleaned her up. And she came in and sleep in our room, and she sat down and we're changing the sheets and stuff.
Yeah.
And she goes, "I'm really sorry, guys."
Aww.
I was like, "Oh my god, you can sleep with us tonight." It's so sweet. So anyway, I woke up. That was at 3 o'clock. I didn't get to sleep to probably back to 4. My alarm goes off at 4:40.
Yeah.
I woke up. I still got to the gym,
but you weren't ready to do max.
Not for my Instagram photo. Not close.
So we have to wait another week.
Yeah, definitely at least another week. So I did some other stuff, but
it does remind me of a good joke. Well, not a good joke, but it's just a shitty throwaway joke from one of my clients who works for Telstra up the road here. And the security guard usually does nights working in the morning. So she's usually trains with me around 6:30 in the morning. So she's into work super early to drop her stuff off and then come down to the gym. And security guard is not used to seeing people that early in the morning. As soon as she walked in, he goes, "Did you wet the bed?" And she's like, "What?" And he goes, "Did you wet the bed?" And she goes, "No, why?" And he goes, "Well, I was wondering why you got up this early."
That's right, yeah. The old shit the bread thing, that's right, yeah. So that's something I didn't get to do my deads, which I'm disappointed at. But anyway, next week I'll keep you posted.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Now, something that's not to look forward to is the death of one of my loves. Now, it's not often that you can pinpoint the moment that you stop liking an artist.
Oh, okay.
But I can almost put it down to the second that I no longer, and I put a tweet out straight away, I can no longer defend Kanye West.
Oh no! What is this? The thing that he posted the other day?
It's everything. There's a whole lot. There's always been I've always had that. Nah, man, he's an artist. He thinks of things at a different point of view. When Yeezus came out and it was shit.
Yeah.
As a true Kanye fan, I went, nah, you got to understand what he's doing, right? He's ahead of the curve. Right. And I genuinely think he was ahead of the curve with Yeezus.
Okay.
Remember when he brought out 808s and Heartbreaks? Everyone didn't like it, but then, a year or two later, everyone's rapping about their emotions and everyone's using auto-tune and big beats. I'm like, okay, so he's ahead of his time. He tried to do that again with Yeezus. No. Terrible. But you can appreciate the effort as an artist.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. Coming out and saying that slavery sounded like a choice, mate, like I said, there's not often you can pinpoint a moment, but that's the moment I kind of went, nah, I'm done. I tapped out, yeah. I was like, I love him. I will still listen to the music.
Yeah, okay.
Don't get me wrong, I'll still listen to it, but I just can't defend him. And when people go, he's fuckhead, I'm going to be like, you are correct, sir.
I think you did try to say, well, look, you're having a crack at me again. I'm not saying, I don't agree with what he said, of course. I'm trying to understand why he said it.
It's that I understand what he's going for with his defense with the free thought stuff. Yeah. It's just that whole thing. It's like, but okay, you can have free thought and this and that, and I understand the concept of what he was saying. But some things you need to work out in your head before they come out of your fucking mouth. Yeah. And he really didn't think of that before it came out of his mouth.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, because obviously him and old Trumpy are good mates.
Yeah.
And there has been they've also highlighted that a bit as well. What was your views on, just because that was just a little bit before this whole comment thing?
I get the Trump thing because if you think about it, you've been listening to hip hop for what, 20 years, 25 years, more than
early 90s.
Yeah, and I have too. Do you know anyone, probably more than maybe Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, or Mike Tyson, that has been referenced more in hip hop than Donald Trump?
No, Ric Flair's been mentioned recently.
Ric Flair gets a lot. And we love that. We always love a Ric Flair.
Right, yeah.
But do you know, like, because it's just like that thing, because he was the guy, he was the rich guy, he was the billionaire, he was the money move guy, and all the hip-hop guys always, like, you know, referenced him, like, even, like, I was listening to a interview the other day with the kids from Ray Shrumman, with not a great group, but they even said, like, there's a song they brought out 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, called Up Like Trump.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and they don't play it anymore because, and like, it was just like everyone referenced him, you know, and it was a thing. His name was iconic.
Yes,
like,
of course.
Fuck, even me and you cheered when he was at WrestleMania. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He was a, you know...
Well, you know those hotels he builds everywhere? A lot of the times he doesn't build shit. He licenses his name.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
so
'cause
people
think,
want to have Trump Towers in their city.
Even though if you look at they said, I've seen a couple of stories where if you look at the sort of the records and, you know, the financial records, the only person that ever makes money off it is him.
Yeah.
Like, most of those business ventures fail, but he has it written into his contract. Okay, if you want to use my name, then I get paid X amount. So no matter when he uses it, he always comes out like a fucking bandit.
Yeah.
And the people that have used his name usually end up losing money, but he always wins.
Yeah, he does. It's funny because he's a businessman, obviously in New York, but he became a social public figure.
Yeah, he's become like somewhat of a sort of a, I don't want to say icon, but he's become he's just become a thing, you know. Like, he's just one of those things that he just everyone knows. It's almost that way, you know. Like, I mean, he was always just a businessman.
Yeah,
he owned a lot of hotels. He was quite, you know, braggadocious and that sort of stuff. He wrote a couple of books, you know, and I even have one of his books.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is like years ago. I'm talking about, like, you know, 10 years ago. I bought one of his books. And it's one of those things. Like, he is. So I understand the love of Kanye towards, like, because Kanye's looking at it as no, I look at this guy pre him being president, and, you know, what he said since presidency and what his presidency has become to represent, which it has come to represent. You know, people think of, like, xenophobia and racism and stuff like that. That's what everyone's going to take away from what he's actually done as president. But Kanye's like, no, that's my guys in terms of everything else in business, you know, and that's the way. And he's seen it as, this is a guy who was unqualified, you know, and, like, became the highest paid reality TV star. A guy that was unqualified and became president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so Kanye's a guy that's unqualified and has always exceeded expectations. So that's what he sees in Trump. But still can't condone his behaviour.
No. But speaking of Trump, though, I mean, you know, you got to give the man a bit of credit. You know, he's been in the job for, what do you reckon, 15, 16 months now?
Yeah.
He's done something that no one else has been able to do, which is, it appears, at least from the outside looking in,
yeah,
it looks like that, you know, he's created or fostered a relationship between South and North Korea. Two countries that have been at war since the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, and we've had some, you know, inverted commas, great presidents since then. You know,
and even a very terrible Bond movie tried to patch up things between.
Okay. I've never seen no Bond films.
It was one of the Pierce Brosnan ones. It was terrible.
Okay. Well, but, you know, to a point where the South Korean president has suggested that maybe he should be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
What, Trump?
For Trump, that's right, because...
Get the fuck out of here.
Tell me this, man, you know, you're a lot of people like Barack Obama. He was so charismatic, and dude, he was switching smooth as shit. Yeah. He was like the people's champ almost,
he was the people's champ. Yeah.
People love him. A lot of Americans didn't like him because he was unable. He wanted to, but he was unable to produce certain change, okay? A lot of reasons why people voted for Trump was because, you know, they were like, well, he's going to change things, you know.
Well, the problem
good
is,
or bad,
both times, it seems like it's almost like that, similar to what we have with our houses. You know, the president is Republican. Like, so when Obama was president, most of the,
the House, the Senate.
the House, the Senate stuff were all Republican.
That's right, so you couldn't get shit through.
Yeah, so you can't get shit
Yeah.
through. Trump's dealing with the same thing. A lot of the Senate is Democrats, and he's Republican, and he can't push shit through.
Right.
So it's one of those things. Like it's just like you can't really look at him in regards to that, because I mean Trump's still waiting for his fucking wall to get built, which
And let's face it, it's probably not going to happen.
no.
But what he has done as organised meetings between these Korean, how far? Look, it's under his administration. The buck stops with him.
Yeah.
It's happening under his watch. You got to give the dude credit.
Don't
you?
I'm
Because
gonna hold off on the credit purely because I've heard, and because I don't trust North Korea. Not like I know them personally, but this is a country that had to because if you fuck with sports with me, and then that's no good. You cannot be Kim Jong Un and tell people that you got 11 holes in one first time you played golf.
I know. It's a
Get the fuck out of here.
When
When they were in the World Cup,
because
there's no expats, North Korean expats, they had to hire a crowd at the games.
Okay.
Now, this is one of those things that makes me laugh. Not only did they have to hire a crowd that was holding signs and stuff like pretending to cheer for North Korea because they were paid actors, at the games, apparently all the Australian fans that were there, and this is the most Australian thing of all time, were like, yeah, fuck it, let's cheer for North Korea. So there was always a pocket of Australian fans, because we just love fucking underdogs, so it's like, yeah, go for North Korea. Now, remember that World Cup game where they were down 4-0 to Portugal at halftime? Apparently, they cut the feed to North Korea and just told all the people they won.
Oh, they come back?
Yeah, but the feed shut down. That's all the bullshit that comes out of North Korea.
Fair enough.
And the thing that I've heard recently is apparently where old Kim Jong keeps his missiles in this mountain has collapsed.
Okay, yep.
So he doesn't actually have access. He cannot access and test his nuclear weapons anymore because they're pretty much locked in the safe. So that's the reason why everyone's from what I've heard from a couple of sources, that it's he's playing nice now because he realizes at the moment he's got no guns.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So he's kind of let's be peaceful. Let's like Bali. Bali's
Bali's.
Yeah. He's just no. We should stop now. Truce. Until he gets his weapons back, then he can be like, nah, fuck, it's on, bitches. So that's why...
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. I'm just saying.
We got it. Okay, we're just calling it as we see it at the
Well,
moment.
you're the one that called the end of the world about 3 weeks ago, Steve. And
What
so
happened
far,
to that, man?
I don't know.
I didn't call it. I was commentating.
Reporting facts.
Reporting the facts.
Facts don't matter.
Exactly. But not much has happened yet. But it's meant to be up until October this year, so we got some time. Relax. But remember when Trump was gonna when he was going for the debating thing, and then he fucking won.
Yeah.
You remember that bit? It was the end of the world, World War III.
Yeah.
And Korea was on the top of that list.
Zero?
Now let's say that has just been demilitarized. Well, we'll see. But anyway, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm gonna put that out there.
You're sounding very.
I'm not a Trump hater.
Have you got one of those red hats now?
I'm too. They're going wrong.
You and
It's
Kanye. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bringing out the remix
Yeah.
of MAGA.
But anyway,
Ugh.
look, I'm not a fan necessarily, but I'm just not a hater.
Now, have you heard the new Kanye songs that have come out?
Oh no, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I'll give you.
I'm a bit slow behind.
I almost feel like I need to almost pause the show and play them to you and get your reaction just so we can get it on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick pause and we're gonna listen to these tracks because I just need to get Steve's reaction. I wish I could film this because you guys are gonna love this. But there's one track he brought out and it was it came out. He announced that it was called "Lift Yourself."
Okay.
And then it came out. There's maybe this was a troll towards one radio host in the States have been ragging on him. But I'm gonna play it for Steve and we'll be back in 2 seconds.
Just quickly, is Ross from Friends? Is he in the back?
No, it's not one of the sounds. This is one of those ones where it's actually a really good beat.
Okay.
Until it gets to this bit at the end, and then I wish I could film this, guys. This is terrible audio, but I wish I could film Steve's face because we're going to listen to the song now. We'll be back in 2 seconds. So we're back. Thanks to the magic of editing. That 2 seconds was literally 2 seconds, but we did get to listen to Lift Yourself. Steve,
Yeah.
give me your feedback.
I say that's it. That's an F- on the 10. F- a 10 on the old Blasey scale.
You thought of that? What did the other beat? The beat was nice.
I was thinking, because at the start I was confused. I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool.
Good beat.
I
good
like
sample.
it, man. Yeah, it definitely sounds Kanye.
Now, tell me what you feel about the verse.
The Scoopity Doop bit?
Yeah, scoopity whoop, whoopity whoop, scoop, poop, poop.
I think you missed the poop. But yeah, that's about right. I didn't know what to do. I don't know. I kept looking at you. I was like, is this it? Is this it? And Speed was covering his face, so I couldn't read off him. But Damn, that shit's fire.
Yeah.
Did you say fire? I don't know what to say. That's terrible, man.
But the thing is, that song came out as a...
What is that? Yeah, you might give me context.
It's now one of those things where it's kind of come out, because when it first released, it didn't say anything. Just released it, lift yourself on KanyeWest.com on Twitter.
Right.
Everyone listened to it. Like, a friend of mine, Nick, said it to me. I was out for breakfast on Saturday morning. I was listening to it, and I'm like, this sounds alright. Then all of a sudden, the fucking Whoopety scoop shit starts coming. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it's apparently it was a bit of a troll. Like one of the, like I said, the radio host Ebro always gives him shit for, you know, you don't know how to rap anymore, and you know, like since Rhymefest stopped working for you and everyone stopped writing your rhymes, you don't know how to rap, and you got no bars and this and that. So then he brought that out.
Okay,
so it has come out as being a bit of a troll, but you know, that's, you know.
Oh, speaking of trolling, by the way, this is not on scripts. I'm flipping the script.
Gone rogue.
I'm off the script. Yeah.
You're about to go Whoopety scoop on us.
Look, we've known each other for a long time, and we know, you know, a lot of stuff about each other, and we will tag each other in stuff on Facebook or social media or something. You tagged me the other day about Adam Sandler's worst 43 films.
Oh yeah.
43 to 1, or what are the, how many
they ranked all the Adam Sandler
ranked
films.
them from 43 to 1. And I was getting I read it from bottom to top, or 43 to 1, or whatever the fuck. And I was getting so angry.
No, in fairness, I tagged you before I read it.
Okay.
Because I tagged you because I just read it, I saw it, I went, this might be something Steve's interested in.
Yeah.
And then I read it, and then I went, why the fuck did they get the one guy that seems to fucking hate Adam Sandler to rate his movies? I think he only gave like 3 of them a positive score.
If that, man.
Everything else was like, 40%, 30%. It was like, mate, okay, like we said, I don't like a lot of his new stuff, but the old stuff's great.
Yeah.
He did get number 1 right. He did put Wedding Singer number 1, and I give him credit for that.
Is that how you would do it? Did you go Wedding Singer 1?
I'd go Wedding Singer 1, Happy Gilmore 1A.
Yeah,
you know, like those two are just the 2 best. You know, like hands down, you know, coming in number 2 would probably be Longest Yard. But
which he rated like number 35.
I know, that's what. Yeah. So I like I said, I tagged you before I read it, Steve. So you know, but we do like tagging each other and stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing we tag each other stuff a lot is basketball stuff.
Of course.
And speaking of basketball, how do you feel about my man LeBron and his new city? Apparently, his new hometown of LeBronto.
LeBronto, yeah, he owns that city.
He got dubbed today. Like I said, we are recording on Friday, so by the time this comes out,
they probably swept them.
Yeah, like get your broom out, and they even said after today's game when he's dropped the 43, and as I saw one person put it on Twitter, it was the greatest thing I've read. He used Kobe's shot selection with Shaq's efficiency.
Yeah.
Like, he was turning around, throwing up the worst looking fadeaways and they were all going in. It was, and not even like hitting the rim, just like swish, everything. It was ridiculous. But they're saying, do the Toronto players even board the plane to Cleveland? Like, why bother? Why put yourself, like, can you actually have a friendly quit?
Yeah, that was funny because, after game 1, when I was watching game 1, I was like, Toronto are playing really well.
Yeah. And now I do owe Benny a house. Our man Benny.
Okay, why is that?
Because I did put on Twitter, LeBron will win the series, but put your house on Toronto game 1. And Ben sent me a message after the game, went, you owe me a house. Sorry, Ben. I do owe you a house. So
pay up, motherfucker.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Dude, they should have won game 1.
Yeah.
And, this is...
they had the chances. We were watching it. Oh,
they were up 15. They pulled it back. They were 12. They were 14.
They had the last shot too.
Yeah. And Valanciunas. Oh, dude, who I think is a monster, missed 2 layups in the last 3 minutes. Missed the tip-in on the buzzer.
Yeah.
But, dude, and I'll say this, and I'll give LeBron full credit for this. Imagine being the opposite team.
Yeah.
Rocking up and having to play against LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Now... Jordan in the old days used to say about the Celtics.
Yeah.
He used to say, didn't matter how far we got ahead, they knew they were coming back to win.
Yeah.
And we fucking knew they were coming back to win.
And it always happens. Yeah.
And that's the thing. LeBron suits up and he rocks up to the games. And you know what? Toronto, as far as I'm concerned, are still the better team than Cleveland.
Oh, they are. But it's something about...
But they're not playing against... LeBron plays for Cleveland, and that's
you put Toronto in as best of 7 series against nearly any other team in the NBA.
Yeah,
you reckon they might take a game, 2 games, maybe 3, 4. Might win a series. You put them in against LeBron. It's just something about LeBron, and Toronto just falls to fucking pieces.
They fell to pieces. They were up 12 points. Got I think in the last quarter or just before the 3 quarters. It was I know in the NBA today, 12 points means nothing.
Oh no.
But still, LeBron, every time he brought that ball down the court, you could see the fear. And once they lost that game in overtime, they did not. I think the whole game they led in regulation.
Yeah.
And they fucked it in overtime. So now it's over. As far as I'm concerned, that was the soul breaker.
Yeah.
I was hoping this was because I said to you a while ago that LeBron's not getting out of the
second round.
I might have to eat my words because
he's getting to the Eastern Conference Finals.
And if he goes to conference finals, I'm afraid he's going to the finals.
Well, the way it's looking right now, because another one that we've been big raps for is my man Ben Simmons. And as it stands today, he's had an absolute stinker. Now, by the time this comes out, he may have redeemed himself back in Philly. But as far as game 2, he's possibly had the worst game he's ever played in his entire life. He's gone 0 from 4 from the field, 1 point, 5 turnovers in 34 fucking minutes of game time.
I missed the game. I actually... Because I didn't realise how early Cleveland was on this morning. Yeah. Because they were on an early game this morning. And then so Boston was on earlier than I thought. But I just called the box score. And I said, was he injured or something?
No, he
played the whole...
stinker.
Yeah.
Like, the team played better when TJ McConnell was on the court.
Okay.
Like, and they just brought... And the problem is they brought Ben back. Because you just obviously, it's one of those things. It's like you always hear the stories about when the Knicks lost... to the Rockets in the finals. In Game 7, when my man John Starks went 1 for 9 from 3, and they end up losing the game by 2 points.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Starks, was Pat Riley always had the excuse, well, he's the one that got us there, and like if I take him out, it's always that what if, and you've got to ride and die by the guys that brought you to the dance. So you can tell why Brett Bounds went, no. He's our guy. He is a prodigious talent, and he's a gun. Sometimes you just got to tough him out, and I think there's a good chance he'll be a better player from this.
You'll learn from these things.
Because it's one of those things where Boston players always play better in Boston. This Terry Rozier, everyone's like raving about, Scary Terry. But he is, they say that Danny Ainge loves him because he's the epitome of Danny Ainge. Just the guy that plays really well at the Boston Garden. So everyone, like all the Boston fans, locals love him. But when he's on the road, fucking shit house. No. Like you finally see the holes through the person when they play away. And so this is a very interesting series. I thought it was going to be Sixers in 6 or 5.
Yeah, me too.
But right now it's anyone's ballgame.
Yeah, for sure. They go obviously. Yeah, so they go back to Philly. This will hold out the Eastern Conference because I have no doubt that Cleveland will finish off this series 4-0.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't want it to happen that way. I called it otherwise, but
and it's looking like even though it looked shaky at the start of the playoffs, it is looking like the Cavs Warriors final again.
Or Houston. Yeah, well, Houston dropped one against Utah.
Houston dropped one at Utah.
Utah's a good team.
Utah's a team.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like that's the thing that Boston's doing. Boston's a team, and they are amazingly well coached.
Yeah.
Utah, really well coached, but just a great team. Like I said, everyone has a role and everyone stepped up. Now Rubio's out, and Donovan Mitchell has just stepped up again and became the facilitator. He had 11 assists today.
Tell me this, Speed. Remember about 3 or 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, whenever it was, you were like, I will fight anyone.
But that was actually just like last week, I think. It's like 2 weeks ago.
That was Tuesday.
And I did say I was going to fight anyone that disagreed with me that Ben Simmons was going to win Rookie of the Year.
Tell me, what's your thoughts?
Now, Rookie of the Year is a regular season trophy. It doesn't take into account playoffs because remember, Dirk won MVP and they got bounced in the first round by the Warriors. So it is a regular season trophy. In saying that, the way that Donovan Mitchell has become, he's just the fucking guy now. He's the guy for Utah. And that was the big thing. Like, who's going to be the guy when Hayward's out? I think he's surpassed what Gordon Hayward was for him. And like he's become like
Gordon Hayward was very good.
He was very good. Don't get me wrong. I like Gordon Hayward. I'm a big fan. Doesn't have a leg to stand on at the moment, but that was poor from me. I apologise.
That wasn't too bad.
No. That was below the belt. He's become like a ridiculously good. Like just he's one of the stars now. He's much must see TV. So we have. You don't have a team. You have players that you support. But I love my Lakers. But there's players that I like to watch, and he's now one of those guys. Yeah. Like the Jazz are on. Yeah, I'll watch this because I want to watch Joe Ingles, and I want to watch Donovan Mitchell. Like I just want to see him play because he's that guy that could be special at any moment.
Yeah. And just shooting back to LeBron for 2 seconds. I was talking to in the gym this morning. We're chatting to my mate, and we're talking about LeBron how. how he complains a lot about, and this is totally off the topic
Yeah.
by the way, but he complains a lot when he doesn't get calls, and I think he gets a lot of those calls because the NBA needs him to have these calls, and I'll explain why. If Cleveland does not make the finals this year, it'll probably be one of the lowest rating NBA finals.
I don't think so.
Really? So you're gonna
Not necessarily true, because if Boston makes it, Boston's a big market. You know, Boston.
think of the casual fan.
For the casual fan, yeah, because the Celtics.
When Conor McGregor fights,
Yeah, but
the
the-
casual fan tunes in.
Boston Celtics are a team, you know, and that's a
Yeah.
well-known team. Like, I've got friends that go, "Hey, the Celtics won today," you know, and like, and they're not really basketball fans, but everyone knows, you know, there's these teams. There's the Knicks, there's the Celtics, there's the 76ers. There's...
LeBron outweighs all of them.
Well, I know LeBron outweighs all of them. Don't get me wrong. You know, and like, it will take a dip as to oppose as how high the ratings will be if LeBron's in the finals, but. You know, they're a big market team, you know. And like I said, the Celtics are a big market team.
Of course
the Knicks are a big market team. The 76ers are a big market team.
Yeah.
They are sort of, you know, there's those big teams and there's the little teams. You know, and like, if the Lakers make the finals, it's a big deal. If the Clippers makes the finals, no one gives a shit. You know, and like, that's what will draw the ratings down. Like, when the Spurs and the Nets made the final, that's why no one fucking watched. Because even though they were the best teams, they're not big markets. They're not special. They're not important.
No.
So that's why, out of the remaining teams, because to be honest, we can bounce Toronto now.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that, man. The number one
because
Eastern
I thought
seed,
DeRozan
man.
had turned the corner because I'm a big DeRozan
He
fan.
didn't have a bad game today.
No.
LeBron just had a fucking monster game, and Kevin Love stood up.
Finally,
JR put a
JR's
few
been
in.
good. Second round playoff JR has been smooth. The old JR swish, get around him.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, no, I just think that with the three remaining teams that are eligible in the East, with the 76ers, the Celtics and the Cavs, those three are big markets. Their money coming in guaranteed there. Now, if somehow the Utah Jazz get through, that's bad for business.
Bad for business.
It needs to be the Rockets or the Warriors for a financial sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they were pretty safe there in the East.
Speaking about Rockets,
Yep.
The year before this, there was a lot of talk about my boy Melo signing with the Rockets.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
No.
For whatever reason.
No.
And OKC took a punt.
Yep.
An expensive punt.
Yep.
On whether or not they could have three superstars who all need the ball in their hands to score. Would that work?
Yep.
Obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No, and you know what? And I feel bad, and I know he's my boy, but I feel bad for Melo because he is now the scapegoat. This is the one that everyone's pinning the blame on because he had 12 points a game and in the playoffs and da. And I feel so bad for this guy because this is a guy who is a top 20 scorer of all time in the league.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. He was reduced to a spot up,
third option,
sometimes fourth option of a spot up jump shooter.
Yeah.
And all that, and I'll call them fakies because they're not legit NBA fans. They just, they the same people like Kobe and stuff like that.
The guys just look at numbers. The ones
the
that
guys look at
think
numbers.
Westbrook's the best point guard in the league.
Exactly. And I look at them guys, and they're hating on Melo, and you highlighted early in the season when people were calling him cancer and stuff like this. I feel so bad. Like, having said that, he has to. This whole not coming off the bench thing really does bother me.
Are you going to fall on the sword the way I fell on my Kanye sword?
Dude, I will,
Is this the time that you've... Because I think that's quote there of the... I'm not reducing myself to coming off the bench. I think that was his way. That was his... slavery was a choice.
Yeah. I know. So he must be in a low spot at the moment. He must be.
Yeah.
Coming off, leading the Denver and the Knicks, being the guy to becoming sort of like just a shadow, a parody of himself. It must be hard, and the ego must, he must be
copped an absolute pounding. We'll wrap up basketball talk there. We've had people listening, and we do talk about the same thing every week, so we're going to change it up. Now, this weekend we've got a footy game going on.
Yeah.
Your Crows, my Blues. And thanks to the legend Nick Hambor, he listens to the show every week. Loyal listener, long-time listener, first-time caller. He's given me some tickets for my birthday. Very, very thankful. Nick's got me some tickets in front of the coach's box for Carlton. Now, this might be because they might need me to coach at halftime. But I'm glad that we got the good seats. So,
Nick, my birthday's in June. Just shouting out there, my birthday's in June.
Don't listen to that, Nick. No, I've used up the allotment for they've got a budget for Don't Be Blasé, and I think I've overstepped the budget. But we've got the game on. It's Steve's boys versus my boys. I feel like we need to have a wager on it.
Okay,
And I
let's
feel
hear
like we need to have some sort of bet that involves exercising in front of a camera because we know how much Steve enjoys that. But I need odds because let's be honest, my boys are no good.
Yeah.
We're 0-6.
Underdogs.
Oh, mate, they're behind the underdog. They're the guy that's cleaning up the underdog shit. They are terrible. And on top of that, we're missing 2 of our best players.
You have best players?
We have best players. They're not bad. And out of the collection of crap that we have, the 2 better craps are no longer there. So I need odds, I guess. I figure if the Crows win, which they probably will, I'll do 5 burpees.
5 whole burpees.
5 whole burpees. But if Crows lose, Carlton wins, I want 25 burpees out of you, Steve.
I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure what a burpee is. I don't think I've ever done one.
But are you confident just to take the bet anyway?
I can pretty much, I can do anything.
Can you now? I could just do it because I'm fucking...
I'm you know who I am, motherfucker. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that bet. 25. 25?
That's all right. We'll film it. We'll put it online. I gotta be honest, you're probably going to see a very short video of me doing 5 burpees. As I said, the result would have come in by the time this comes to air, but... You know, that's going to be a bet. We're going to shake on it. Here comes the mega power shake.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Feel the power, you son of a bitch. But that's going to be our bet, and that's going to be our show for this week, guys. Thanks a lot to Nick for sending through the tickets. Thanks a lot for you guys for listening. Don't be afraid to throw in some feedback about the yellow patches on Steve's lawn. And if you've got any topics that you want us to debate in future, you know, like you always seem to chime in, guys. You send us a lot of messages or tell me, you guys keep talking about that. Give us something to talk about.
Yeah, and how's my Survivor application going, guys? I've had no phone calls.
I don't think anyone actually wants to see you on Survivor because we haven't had
you want to see me burpees, but you want to see me...
No one wants to see you on Survivor, apparently, Steve. So, yeah. I think you have to almost apply for it now just at a spot.
I'll show you.
The tribe has spoken, Steve. Your torch has been snuffed out before you even got on the show. But that's going to be us for this week, guys. For Speed Caroline is saying goodbye. For Steve Burrows,
see you later.
We'll speak to you next week. Peace.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.